Good morning, everyone. September 2nd, Tradingology.com's trading room. Nothing but good times on a VXX Wednesday. Good morning, Dave. How you doing?
Good morning, everybody. Are we having fun yet?
Well, it's quite the interesting morning, that's for sure.
It is. We had stocks popping and cryptocurrencies deflating. Not sure why.
Yeah, it wasn't looking like it was starting out good. It looked like the internals were going to start to take a turn down here, and markets were real choppy. The NQ just fell apart for a little while. It's like, wow. And then someone said, no, let's buy that.
Yep. They got the order straight from the horse's mouth. Head of the Federal Reserve. Buy, buy, buy.
The bat phone rang. So now I got to squeeze my chart since we can see it because it's trying to go off the chart.
Do you think they still use landlines for the Federal Reserve? They probably do.
Only if they don't want to be recorded as easily.
They probably have those titanium coated trunks. Yeah.
Exactly. So we'll take a quick brief look here at the spreadsheet. We were noticing we definitely had a bear orphan that showed up. No more rise in MT volatility. That leveled off at 89, so it didn't even break into 90. And our flow and pipeline came back down. So he looks like it could be that long tail setup, even though we didn't have any properly formed bullish herding here. So
okay, so I take this for granted, but for those of you who are kind of questioning whether or not, you know, what is it that determines whether or not we're going to take a long position or a short position? Well, when I get into my setup and I take a look, the first thing that I look at the night before is the spreadsheet, and I want to get an overall sense of volatility, right? So that's kind of like in the back of my mind, and then I kind of dive into the details. I see that bearish orphan there, and I'm thinking, it didn't have enough. We're down 223 that day. The next day, we're right back up again. So there wasn't enough bearish herding to really start to fill that column out. And that's what is kind of gives me the idea that, you know what, it doesn't matter what's going to happen afterwards, because if we have that bearish orphan there, even if we don't get any bullish herding, the bears are dead. They're just not going to come back to life. You know, there's going to be a few out there straggling around, you know, eating the cut over here and the, you know, whatever they got. They're roaming, but they're not making any impact on the herd to steer it in any particular direction. So they can cause a little bit of damage in the short term, but over the next 5 to 10 days, which is what we're looking at as far as the VXX trade, they're not going to make any difference. We also had the buy-sell signal going up. So I look at those two things primarily. That's about it.
Yeah, I did notice too, it was a nice smooth 1, 2, 3 where it wasn't erratic, which is another thing to clue in on.
Well, we also hit a double six at the bottom. You and I kind of talked, I think it could be a double bottom there on that -6. We see that. It didn't get worse than -6, so that's kind of light selling there. And it started moving up afterwards. So yeah, it's a nice smooth transition from a low buy sell signal to, you know, to the positive area. And then, so the second thing I would do, so once I've got that in my mind, the next thing I would do is look at the call put premiums.
And guess what they did today?
Yeah, they're just about even there on the 30-day. So we want to look at the 30-day, and right now they're just about even. So there's still a good amount, but it's not, interestingly enough, even though the VXX is higher over the last couple of days, we still don't have what I would consider to be long premium on the call side. In order for it to be long premium, I'm talking 5-10 cents or more on the call side over the put side. So And if you look at the extrinsic value, it's only 2 cents difference. So that's something that you have to kind of keep in mind. Now, 92% of the time, we're going to take a short position. So the next thing I would look at, after I look at the spreadsheet, I go to the premiums, I look at the charts with the VXX Trade System indicator and the APTR and the Darvis box and the whole bit there. So right now, you don't have.
Oh, I had it. I moved it.
Oh, okay. The APTR, yeah.
I was putzing around with my other screen last week. Let me pull it back on here.
Okay. Because even though we've had a little bit of an increase here in the volatility rise in the VXX, the APTR is declining. So we also have the VXX trade kind of going sideways, but we've got the SPY versus VIX kind of moving up a little bit. You added that in there. I've got that on the daily. The only thing I have on my chart right now is the APTR and the VXX trade system.
Yeah, I was doing my correlation for the other one, so I pulled this off just for room and put that on.
Yeah.
So I'm readjusting the charts back. That's why that's in there right now.
So the question is, and then look at the Darvis box. The Darvis box is kind of really odd looking.
Yeah, squeezed right up there. Really interesting.
Yeah, it's very strange. So what that does, the way the Darvis box is created is by the volatility of the individual prices on the swings. And so we had it low when we had that big kind of, I don't know, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days ago where we had kind of a big run up and then kind of settled back down. Yep, that one. And now you can see that the distance, the trading range on each day is getting smaller and smaller, and that's why the Darvis box has kind of shrunk a little bit. That's also a pretty good indication that we're probably not going to get any more volatility in the VXX to the upside, or not movement to the upside. So even though we've gone up, that range is also an indication of volatility of the VXX itself, just like I talked about in the winning trade system. So if you guys haven't seen the winning trade system yet, you gotta go check that out. And so I'm anticipating lower VXX. Look, even if it doesn't go down, which I'm pretty sure it's going to go down, but even if it doesn't go down, we have a lot of things working in our favor. APTR is going lower. We got the SPY versus the VIX kind of moving up a little bit, and at least the VXX trade system is going sideways. It's not going down, it's going sideways. We have the premiums on the on options. Now, this is a huge thing. Not only does the VXX, the way it's constructed with futures contracts that are reset on a daily basis, erode the price of the VXX. We have call premiums that are declining on a daily basis. I mean, I don't know if you can get any better circumstances for a trade in the markets themselves. I can't wait for the day in which they introduce options on cryptocurrencies. I will make a fortune on the theta decay. So on the premium decay, so you have the VXX, the way it's constructed, working in your favor. You've got premium decay working in your favor. You've got the indicators that I just gave you working in your favor. You got the MT spreadsheet working in your favor. You have all of these tools. The only time that I would go long is looking at those premiums. If those premiums are really, really going to, skyrocket here, then I say, okay, well, we got a 10 or 15 cent premium for the last couple of days. We go into this trade, we're up 10, 15% premium on the call side, and the VXX itself is probably below 15. Yeah. And the premiums are down to like $1. Now we've got rich premium 345 on a historic basis is pretty decent on the call and put side. That's pretty nice. That's pretty decent premium.
Yeah, I popped these numbers in around a half an hour ago. It was at 355, 365 at that time. At the 2744 was when it was at then. So it's about a dime higher right now. We went up to 2757. So yeah, that's as you say, it's inflating the premium slightly, but it's not. The other thing that you can look at is, and I do recommend, guys, if you haven't already, we talked about it once before, is make this your own. This has Dave's historical trading as he went through it all in 2019. You can keep the call put premiums, but the prices don't matter as much, and the capital I've already taken out because that's not your capital you're tracking. Start your own sheet, and then I'll just start tracking. What you can do is you can look at this call put ratio. You can see it's slightly risen, so we got some more premium, but it's not skyrocketed like this as he was talking about.
Well, even back there before it skyrocketed, you can see that the call premium was kind of like, it kind of matched each other right around the 29.30 value there. So it started rising a little bit until the 33rd price point. Then it really it held for a week. And if you're but that was when call premiums were down around $1 and they dipped under $1. So we're not even close to that now. The only reason I think that we're doing this is we've had a lot of volatility in the price structures of a lot of instruments. That's the only reason the VXX has gone up, because we're getting more people trying to protect their position. I think a lot of people are still anticipating that this market is going to decline very, very sharply. But we haven't seen any evidence of that in the spreadsheet. And that's the thing that's going to tell us whether or not we're going to be declining in a significant way. And the call premium from really big players, in order to push up that call premium above the put premium, you need massive buying of calls on the VXX, and that only happens when big institutions see something that we don't. We haven't seen it, not yet. So I took a short position.
So there you go. Use your course and assign your ladder accordingly.
That is the lesson for the day.
And while we're away, we're still right around the meeting line. So the run up and other people are taking profits, little pullback. One thing I thought was interesting as well this morning is all greens on the price signals for the YM. No reds ever painted in. I thought that was a little interesting.
Yeah, so there's a lot of bullishness in there. Yeah, kind of up and down on the ES, but then we went into a nice little bullish trend there. NQ up and down.
Yeah, I was looking at the NQ actually. Let me see if I can pull this up again for you guys. I actually closed it out. Just another reason why you have to know your instrument that you're trading. And we look at, we're always looking at volume and who's in and who's not. When we watch, the ES, it's the most liquid thing out there, right? I'll pull over just the side just so you can see the ladders here. Is, we're currently sitting at, I have visibility into my TradeAvate account where I can see, there's 1,900 orders here, 1,700 orders there, and as it moves the scale. You pull this over to the NQ, 100. The MNQ, there's like 50. You wonder why there's such high volatility.
Yeah,
because no one's actually trading this hardly. Look at this.
Yeah, it's like, oh my gosh, that would make me dizzy.
You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 orders sitting in here. Compared to watching the MES, you got 1,500. So yeah, there is money to be made in both. Make sure you know what you're doing.
Absolutely.
Because when this thing drops, all of a sudden you see it off the screen like this. You're like, it's hard enough time just to follow it.
Right.
Let alone get the trade in. So I just thought I never looked at the volume levels previously. And I thought that was really amazing that even something as liquid as the NQ for the NASDAQ, there's hardly anyone in there.
Yeah.
There's less in the full contracts. So there's more people trading the micros because it's less risk, which makes sense.
Right.
But there's no even big players that are trading the NQ itself. And if they are, they're the ones that are doing this 5 contracts at a time.
Well, the CME publishes liquidity for contracts, and the ES is always pretty much at the top. So it would make sense that they have a lot of contracts. So the YM, I think, comes in like second.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
It was enlightening for me to see that, so I thought I'd share that with you guys. It's like, wow. See, look at us. We were at the bottom, now we're at the top.
I know.
You like roller coasters? There you go.
And just kind of a reminder that we had some stocks come out of the YM, out of the Dow index last week. I think it's starting on Monday, the new ones were added. And so that's why they took them out. So they sold the stocks that were in the Dow, which caused the Dow to decline last week. And now that they've added the new stocks, those same indexes that hold the Dow 30 have to go in and buy those new stocks that are in the index. And now that they're in the index and people are buying them, Dow's got to go up. So kind of mechanics there, little mechanics.
All right.
Nothing to do with sentiment or anything like that.
Right.
But yeah, interesting market. I mean, we've got gold down, we've got silver down today. Yeah, one of the issues, cryptocurrencies were down. And I think, I do believe that gold and silver have a little more influence over cryptocurrencies. They don't seem to be following stocks as much. They were correlated fairly well, but now they're not. But they seem to be more correlated with gold and silver.
Probably because that's one of the newer places that people think they may have an escape to. Or, that's one of their better alternatives at this point.
Maybe, because gold and silver were down very lightly. In fact, I think when I did the RTS update, I think I had one that was up, one was down. Let me just check here. They were both down slightly, but they started selling off, and so did crypto.
Yeah, and I did notice too, the one thing that was interesting reporting this morning was it's an advanced one from the new unemployment later. They have the ADP reporting this morning, which is a critical one. They were forecasting 1.2 above, came in the opposite side.
Wow.
So less people getting paid out there. It's an ADP report. They use it ahead of the economic one. So that was not a positive factor. And interestingly enough, the market actually traded down after it versus the unemployment calls.
Oh, that's interesting, because the ADP usually doesn't come out till Thursday, the day before the official government report.
Yeah, maybe they modified the days. They switched it up to Wednesdays now.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So as you guys know, keep your eye on those calendars too. It does help for know what's going on in the world.
It does. It does. Good morning, Asham. Andre, yes, I'm short VXX Trade.
Few minutes left. I know we had we knew we were going to talk VXX today for sure. So glad we got that in. Glad to see a good turnout here. So appreciate you guys coming out. And although there was quite a few questions, and I believe Dave covered the ones you guys were looking for on the VXX.
Yeah, if I didn't, go ahead and put them in the chat real quick. We got a few minutes left here. We can.
Yeah, if there's any stragglers that you're looking for, let us know. But I appreciate the email, so that helps us with what you guys want to see and talk about.
Absolutely. Have you ever let your VXX run more than 10 days? I think there's a couple times when I did, yeah.
I think you said it was just a handful, if I remember right.
Yeah, not many though. Typically, it's anywhere from 7 to 10 days.
Probably fair to say you've never let anything go to expiration.
No, never. No, because it's either hit my stop loss or it's hit my profit targets. And 98% of the time hit my profit targets. So Interestingly, somebody brought up there was a guy on Collective 2 that was doing nothing but shorting the VXX. He has not done anything since August 12th. And he had a pretty good track record of doing it. I think it was Norg who alerted me to this guy. The disadvantage of letting it run longer is that the theta declines to the point where there's nothing left in the theta. So when you're close to 50, 60, 70, 80% of the profits on the short option, the theta on a daily basis declines significantly. So if you're short 20 of the VXX options, you might have like a $50 a day decline in the premium through theta decay. When it gets down to after about 10 days or so, if it's not close to the strike, if the price is not close to the strike, you're going to have a theta decay of it's what I call a theta slide. So it goes from $50 a day down to like $3 a day or $2 a day. It's not worth holding it. That's the disadvantage. You're not really gaining any theta decay. And since you're entering one every single week, you're really at a disadvantage of holding it when the theta goes down to like $5 a day on a 20 short premium. So, and the disadvantage is if you hold it and a VXX goes against you, and then you got to start building theta decay all over again. So you definitely want to get out. If you look at the theta every single day, which is I do, which is probably about the only thing I do, is I look at the theta decay. And if it bombs, if it declines like sharply one day, then I'm out for sure.
Andre's asking to go over the actual trade, so I can do that. We don't have time to run through before the top of the hour, Andre, but I can do a recording and I'll add it to the VXX course for you.
There you go.
That way you guys know how to step through the ladders, identify it, the math. We'll have it all logged in there.
Cryptocurrencies continue to slide. We had a bullish monthly close, but gold and silver, gold and silver are down pretty sharply. You got a silver chart there we can pull up real quick?
I can pull one up. Where'd my one blanker go? I'll just use this. Here we go. Yeah, a little slide today on silver.
Yeah, so it's in a range. I think we had a big down day that one day, and so I think if we stay in that range, it's just a normal pullback. But
yeah, if I were to draw a line here.
Yeah.
Come here.
Now your mouse is acting up again. Yeah, it's right on the support line now, but that's kind of a short support line.
For sure.
The one down from, down there would probably be a better one. So it could slide down to that to maybe 24. We'll see.
That'd be another blue light special if it did.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I think the overall trend will remain up. We didn't look at the Dixie. Dixie is up. That's fine. That's fine.
For today, at least.
Yeah, we talked about a little bit of a rebound possibly in the Dixie. We're kind of seeing that today. That's fine. Anyway, long term. Got to do those long term.
Exactly. All right, gentlemen. Once again, appreciate you coming out. We're about to wrap here in a second, so one more day. We'll see you again tomorrow, same time as usual.
Absolutely.
Feel like I'm missing something, but I think we covered it all. We're getting efficient. You're welcome.
Thanks for showing up to my live stream yesterday.
Absolutely. Happy to help, man. I saw that alert come across. I'm like, hey, he hasn't done that in a while. I got to see what's going on.
Yeah, it's been a long time. That's for sure. Try to revive my YouTube channel a little bit. I got like 6,500 subscribers, so I might as well give them something and
Yeah,
promote.
keep bragging.
Yeah, promote tradingology at the same time.
There you go. I like it. Yeah,
Yeah.
BD caught the replay. Good stuff. Nice.
Good. Thank you, BD. All right, guys, have a great day. Talk to you tomorrow, Dan.
See you tomorrow, guys.